lately. Let me turn on my freaking fan. So I wanted to go through some freaking stories and some that I think you guys would actually enjoy hearing. Damn, this fan is freaking strong. Damn. All right, chill. All right. Cool. So there was actually I need to know. Let me see if the reviews of my original store are still up. Cause that would be interesting. Okay, they finally used permanently closed. Ah. Yeah, you can still see some of the original reviews. Not all of them, like some of them were before my time. But I could explain the funny ones. The ones that are 1-star review, because they are hilarious. But yeah. So, like, if you own a store, you shouldn't respond to every review because people are stupid. And so you kind of have to really see which ones are valid, which ones aren't, right? Like which one's actually gonna hurt your business, and then as a owner, you have to see if your response is actually gonna affect it too. Because sometimes, like a bad review, you just let it sit there and it's fine, because it's like, for instance, when I worked at a restaurant, I worked at a Brazilian steakhouse, right? Recently. And if you're going to look at a restaurant review, you're going to talk about, you want to see if the food is good, the service is good, if it's clean, if it's quality, if the price is worth it, if it's like all those and more, right? That has to do directly to the business. And I remember I was talking to a table, and I was a meat server, right? So we pass around the meats to the table, and one of them like asked me where I was from. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm from São Paulo, Brazil, and but I grew up here, and then the last place I lived was, like, I was born there, grew up here, but I went back as a teenager, and then that was that, and it's fine. We smile, whatever, and then I go to the next table, and they also asked me where I'm from. I'm like, oh well, like the last place I lived in Brazil is Florianopolis, but I'm from São Paulo, whatever. Fast forward, the next day, there was a 1-star review about the restaurant, but it was about me, that like the employees are liars. I asked this guy, he said he was from São Paulo, then he told another table he was from Florianopolis, and it's like, it was so stupid and so useless. Like, if you felt that offended, why not just confront me or talk to a manager about like an employee lying to your face, which didn't happen. You misheard some other conversation about, like, yeah, I told you this is where I'm from, and then I told the other table also where I'm from, but the last place I lived, and you just didn't catch up on that. It's like, people, I don't know what is wrong with people. People are just stupid, man. And they live in the Tampa area, so you could probably look up the Rodizio Grill Wesley Chapel and see that retarded review. And then there's actual reviews of the quality of the food. So, and those are the views like somebody who wants to go to the restaurant want to read, right? Just dumb, dude. Looks like my son left his water bottle here. Shoot. But yeah, so like, I remember like 10 years ago, working in another restaurant, we sing happy birthday, and similar vibe, steakhouse, meat service, and we had this drum, so we sang happy birthday, and to tables that were really annoying. And if we sang happy birthday next to them, some of the guys, and they shouldn't be doing this, and this was 10 years ago, so they probably either got fired or they didn't continue employment over there, right? So they would grab the drum, and it's huge, right? So they're hitting the drum, and they put the outside where the sound mainly comes out on the ear of the table behind them, where to just be like a big old FU, right? It was funny to me, but I understand. There was like anybody who's worked in a restaurant business, there's some shenanigans happen. So anyways, some of the stories at the store, man, like we had an employee. So those times where I had like 4 employees, 7 employees, whatever, right? So I remember I'm not going to say which employee, but I had Anderson as an employee. I had Devin as an employee. Then I have this other guy who I really like, good, solid dude. But unfortunately, as soon as he got hired, his life just freaking crumbled. He like almost lost a nut because like he had testicular distortion while he was sleeping, and then had to go to the hospital. And then he bought a ring for his girl, and the day he was gonna propose, like I think he caught her cheating on him with a friend of his or something, or she dumped him. But I remember it was like a big hit. And then like he was kind of tripping because he didn't get his ADD medication, ADHD, and we like, he was a cool guy. He's still a cool guy, and I wish we could have kept working, but he became pretty difficult to work with. He kind of sat around, like he couldn't focus a whole lot. There were those issues, and it was just like it really came down to, not that he was a bad employee, but he couldn't separate business and personal. So like he was letting his personal life affect his professional life, right? You know, like having a tough day, he wouldn't smile at customers, and like, you know, it's retail, man. Like customer service is number one. In almost every industry, customer service is number one. I actually can't even think of an industry that customer service isn't number one. But yeah, so it wasn't providing the best service. Okay, so our last conversation, before I eventually had to let him go, because it was an issue in all around areas, and I'm the type of guy that sometimes I give too many chances. Like I want people to succeed. I feel, as an owner, boss, manager, I feel responsible. Like for me, like if they're not trained well enough, that's on me, right? But sometimes, especially early on, when you gotta cut them loose, right, like a month or two after you hired them, the waters get murky because you don't know. Sometimes you wonder if it was you that gave them crappy training and they're not understanding, and or if it's actually from them, or if like how sensitive you gotta deal with certain situations. So like it's a little weird doing that right off the bat, because you go through the interview process and then they're really good the first week and everything, and it's just life happens. But he just couldn't cope with it. He was a young guy, and I think it was his first job, you know what I mean? So anyways, we sit down, all 4 of us, to have a conversation about performance, and actually kind of have a talk with him because we wanted to help him out. And so I let Anderson take the floor. Like, you want to go first? And he just looks at him and he's like, "You've just been kind of a letdown, man. Like ever since you've been hired, you're just like, what the?" And me and Devin look at each other like, "Oh, oh no." uh, One of the funniest things to ever happen over there, but it was just like, dude, like I can't let him give a pep talk. He's just gonna freaking annihilate people. Like he he did everything but ask him if he was a full blown retard, and just tore him apart. He even teared up a bit, and like I softened the mood because I was like, yo, like we're all going to still hang out and work together, but eventually he was let go, and he still came by and hung out with us, but it was yeah, it was interesting. From then on, I'm like, all right, I gotta also coach Anderson and this is how you talk to people, man. You gotta be careful so they don't freaking off themselves, dude, and right after their meeting. um so yeah, and it was actually really, really difficult to fire him. This guy, he was not only a cool dude, but it's just you invest so much in people, and unfortunately, it's even better for them to pull the plug sooner, right? Because if you don't, you're just encouraging them to become worse, and so that as an employee, they're going to hinder the business, and they're going to believe that their current behavior is acceptable onto the next business venture and whatnot, right? So there is an element there that it's better off for them not to no longer work there. The only person who really sucked was like the chick I fired as soon as I got there. Her name was Emily. Nobody liked her, man. There was an autistic kid that I hired that he liked her quite a bit. But she was insufferable, and she literally hindered the business. She would first she didn't know customer service. She would fight with customers about politics, which is insane. It's like, yo, you're on your business. When you're working here, your politics do not exist. Like, it's not about conforming to their politics. It's like, if you want to really know what they think, just actually be interested. You don't have to let it affect you. You can just hear them out and be like, oh, that's interesting that you think that way. Like, I've never heard that perspective, like dude, not too long ago, I was on a stream where I was hearing this guy talk about like his beliefs, and it's a nice guy, and his beliefs are very wacky. But I'm not going to like interject and be like, you're wrong. And it's just being courteous and respectful, right? But imagine even in a business setting. And that's like the first time I met him. Like, maybe if we develop a relationship, we could have deeper conversations, not to change his mind, but to really dig deep on why he believes what he believes. And, maybe he would care about my beliefs, but whatever. But this chick, she couldn't. Everybody has to, support the alphabets. Everybody has to not just tolerate, but accept. It was, oh man, it was just freaking rough working with her. And then she would hurt the business. She would literally tell people to not shop there before I even took over the place. It was insane. And it wasn't like subtle to like kind of agree with the customer. It was just like, yeah, this place sucks. It's like, so then why the freak do you work here? And obviously she was sent on her way. The funny thing is, like, you guys also know that one weed, like a tumor, is going to affect the entire body, right? So one weed will affect the garden. She was like a cancer, like stage 4. People were depressed, other than the autistic kid who like only put on his headphones and would sort out Lego for the whole day. He eventually left because we fired her. Yeah, and everybody was like happier after that. Like people were smiling. Devin actually looked forward to coming to work. Like dude, he was on cloud nine. Like this is the best time of my life. Oh man, because I also noticed that after like a week or two, like on the shifts that she was coming in, everybody was like prepping for like a terrible rest of the day, and sales would drop. Like one of the biggest things for sales in a retail space, in the food space, is a smile. Even if the people are pissed off, if you're smiling the whole time, smiles are infectious, man. Like especially when you talk to people, they're going to eventually being like, what the freak is this fool smiling about? And then you talk to them, and then they have like a freaking pissed off, and they could be like the grumpiest dude in the world, but you smile, and then you try to make jokes, and then you try to really pull at them, and you'll eventually find some common ground or a conversation they're interested in, and they're gonna smile at some point. But you just can't give up. And it's just so simple. But actually, give me a second. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. All right, I am back. Let's see what's freaking in the news lately. Um, Anybody watch that freaking terrible, just awful trailer, the Supergirl trailer? Here's something you guys would find interesting. It's most likely gonna flop, not even because it's gonna be bad, or the writing, or the Netflix purchase, or any of that stuff. It's releasing like in the same week as Toy Story 5. And because the James Gunn Superman was terrible and nobody has trust in the DCEU, the Supergirl movie is going to be buried in there. So that's unfortunate for them. And like literally the only thing that would make it work is if it was an actual masterpiece. Like if it was just like a perfect movie. If it was just perfect and like there was no issues with the movie, it just was the story aligned, captivated audiences and was objectively a perfect movie. That's the only thing that would really bring an audience to theaters to watch this movie. Because it's like, if you look at it from a business standpoint, it's a really dumb move when you got the whole catalog of the DCEU. Because it's one thing, and let's say after the Superman movie came out the way it is. If anything, you should have done either backstory movies of Guy Gardner, Mr. Terrific, Hawkgirl, right? And the other thing would be, let me change the freaking reactions. Like if I do this, does it? Okay. Wait, which camera is this getting? How did that affect it? That's interesting. It's from OBS. Okay. Oh, now that is wacky, man. Learning new things every day. I'm in hell. Cool. Let me see this. What? You guys see that? That's crazy. So much fun. Okay. Enough playing around. Okay. So I was like, why is this happening? Cool. All right. Are you kidding me? So, quite simply put, it is a stupid choice to have a character like make a movie based off a derivative character that isn't very popular among fans itself. And I was on Derpy Entertainment's stream once, and they recommended me The Woman of Tomorrow or whatever, Tom King's novel, and I was like, Tom King, why does that freaking name sound familiar? Oh yeah, it's the douchebag who doesn't know how to write comics. There's no way I'm gonna read that comic. Dude, like Tom King is the one that had like Bruce Wayne's dick on a front page of a freaking comic, dude. And he doesn't know how to write. Like, I looked it up. I think it was 23 shipments of the first issue launched. And at its peak, it was 28,000. So 23,000 to 28,000 on an issue by the third issue of this Supergirl comic. So it was a complete failure. Like under 40,000 is already a failure. Under 40,000 is abysmal. Under 100,000 is practically a failure in the comic world. And that and if you just take, let's say, 23 crates, that's 23,000 crates. That's not even gonna be worth. That's not even gonna get a million different people reading that comic, let alone buying it. So it's just stuff like, and when you go to a comic shop, at least the original comic shops, the owners were pretty honest. They'll be like, "Hey, yeah, I have to put it on a shelf because I have a contract, but don't read that bullcrap because it means nothing." And Tom King doesn't know how to write anything other than his own trauma, and he does the whole gaslighting stuff. Like, there's problems. Like, there was things that he did okay, but it overall always ends up being garbage. He's a petty idiot. In the Batman comics, when like his run with at the time it was a big deal, the whole wedding with Catwoman. I've never ever believed Batman should be together with Catwoman. It's one of the reasons why I like the animated series, where like, yeah, he's putting her in jail every time because she's a freaking criminal. I was always wondering like why it even mattered that we had a love interest with Catwoman, and the only reason that he proposed was to complain, like, was because he felt sad and lonely. That's how it was written. It wasn't because he loved her. It was like, I'm just sick of being alone and my life sucks. I'm Batman. That was the comic. So yeah, if it's based off that comic, Tom King's runs, then it's dead on arrival, man. Like, this is gonna be a garbage show, garbage movie. Anything Tom King puts his hands on pretty much is a dud. So I think the only people who are excited for it are people who like the Superman movie. And even then, it's like I was a James Gunn fan before, but it's like he has a one-trick pony. Like, if you watch Guardians of the Galaxy 3, it feels like it's the same thing. It's practically Guardians of the Galaxy 3. It's terrible. The big glaring issue is that they didn't focus on any of the bigger characters. So you got Superman. If you don't want to do Batman right after, I understand, but go for a solid Wonder Woman movie. Okay? And then you could do wacky characters. After you establish 3 main solid characters, like, you can make, like, for instance, the MCU launched with Iron Man. Iron Man was not even B-list character. It was C-list. Like, you had so much more above Iron Man. Literally, in the whole X-Men roster above Iron Man. You got Spider-Man. You got Hulk. Doctor Strange. Daredevil. You got Fantastic Four. I already said the X-Men, right? Who else? No, it was definitely above Iron Man. My mind's blanking. Like, Ghost Rider was above Iron Man. But yeah, like, and Iron Man it was cool. Like, comic nerds read it, but people that knew about the superhero genre and would read a comic every now and then, like, Iron Man was not on the radar. So, in my opinion, probably a good way to have gone about the Justice League and you don't want to use the main characters other than Superman first, is probably do the Martian Manhunter right after. Like, you're like, okay, I want to establish a solid Wonder Woman, a solid Batman. Totally understand that. And again, the animated series would be the template. I wouldn't even go for the Justice League comics completely. Like, I would kind of use the template of the animated series and then go through the comics, but based off the characters that they use in the animated series, right? Like, Hawkgirl's outfit sucks in the animated series and sucks in the Superman movie. Both of it suck. So you would have more room to redesign that. And again, I don't think Hawkgirl, Mr. Terrific, or Guy Gardner should have had a place um in the Superman movie. Like a quick cameo where like they pick up a phone and Superman calls them like, "Look, can you guys take care of this?" Like, well, the corporations that we work for doesn't allow us to do this, and have a little quick action scene, but then that's it. But they're not involved. Like, you don't even share the same screen with Clark or Superman. Then awesome. Then I would be okay with that kind of cameo. Like, it's just quick. Like, kind of if you watched X-Men First Class, you had the Wolverine like Hugh Jackman cameo where he just says "F off" and that's it. That's all you see of him for that movie. But yeah, so if you were to start off the universe, then obviously redesign Hawkgirl, Martian Manhunter, and then establish a Flash movie right after, and that's fine. Like, I think for the DC fans, like DC fans, we are different than than Marvel fans. Like, Marvel fans are nothing compared to us. They are stupid. They're just full blown morons that like are bandwagons, right? DC, we take our crap seriously because the universe is way more serious, and it's a lot more fantastical than Marvel. So the reason being why you could do something like the Flash is because the fans will bring the normies. Like, dude, I will make all my friends who haven't even looked at a comic, I would take them all to the movies. I would buy their ticket for them to go to the movie theater and watch it with them. So it, like, if you did it out of order, let's say you did, you still want to do a Green Lantern TV show, that would have been the TV show to make in between all this and after 3 movies, right? So instead of Supergirl, I would have had Martian Manhunter, where it's like an off character, unrecognizable, but would be a movie where the fans would bring, like, you could do a lot of marketing, but the fans would truly bring in the spectacle. And you could have done more of like a prequel where it doesn't really affect the universe yet. Like, it's just a story of him on Mars and why he has the name Martian Manhunter, and then introduce other characters by the end, like when his civilization was destroyed, he went to Earth to warn Earth, and he, you could give a backstory of why he's called Manhunter. He lands on Earth, and then Cadmus Labs takes him and starts experimenting on him, right? Because if you watch the animated series, one of the reasons why they come together is because he's trying to reach out to, I think, Bruce and Clark, and they all go to free him out of his cell because of the alien invasion that destroyed his civilization, and he's been trying to warn everybody. And he was finally able to use his telepathic powers to reach Clark, right? So then you could start off a Justice League movie like that, where Superman's freeing the Martian Manhunter, or have the second movie him freeing the Martian Manhunter towards the end of the film, and then like the third act, him like practically completing the movie, but we have like 20 minutes left of the movie where he introduces the Martian Manhunter to Bruce, or Bruce shows up and is like, I think something's coming. And then Martian Manhunter's like, you're right. Like, it's time for us to bring people together, to bring everyone together. And then every movie after that could have like an end scene of Batman coming in and having a conversation with the main character, like Wonder Woman, Flash, whatever, without revealing his identity, which I think would be really important to keep, and to make it would also add to the character of Bruce Wayne, of Batman, of the detective part, where he finds out, he knows everybody's secret identity, and it's only revealed after, like, Just similar, like you don't have to do exactly like the anime series, but similar to that, where nobody knows their identity, um, other than Batman, and it's only revealed that he knows everybody's identity at the end, right? And you can have little instances of like conversation where Diana's like, "You know nothing about me." Oh yeah, I wouldn't know anything about a entitled princess on the island of Themyscira and what and then like saying like these subtle, not so subtle but not so subtle things, and then she's like, "Holy crap, who is this guy? Like, what does he know?" So then creates elements of mistrust there, but trust at the same time because he has this information but didn't do anything that would affect her, like her lineage or who she is and whatnot. So there's a lot of things you could play, but let's say this Superman movie, then we get Martian Manhunter, and we get a Flash movie, and then we get the Green Lantern TV show, then we get a second Superman movie, because again, Superman needs to be the established hero of the DCEU, and Batman's already established. Like the first Batman movie will establish him because I think for normies and in the DC comics themselves, Batman has always been the more interesting character out of all the DC comic characters, in terms of how he's portrayed or which comic, what they're gonna do with him. Because he actually is a very complicated character to write, even though we have so much material. It needs to be precise. Christopher Nolan, I believe he did it well on the first movie and somewhat of the second movie, and then the third movie he kind of took a dump on how the character would be in an act. But yeah, so then we get the second Superman movie. Then we get Batman and Wonder Woman, right? And then we could have maybe 1 to 2 more films of any of those characters, and maybe TV shows until the Justice League. Like the Justice League needs to be something to look forward to. It needs to be something that we do have to wait years for. Like it can't just be like, okay, we're gonna pump out these films and then forget about these films. We need to get a Justice League movie out there, team up, establish our universe. It can't be that way. Like some of the best comics that we've read, took years of an anticipation for certain events to happen. Like Kraven the Last Hunt, it was a 10-year run where there was anticipation. Like, what's he gonna do? Is he gonna kill Spider-Man? Is this gonna happen? Like, what is this going to be like? And it delivered. It was a great comic. So they have to use that formula with the movies. And again, it's not like we're not gonna see these characters. You could establish TV shows, and like I've said before, where you could have TV shows where you could still watch the first movie and then go to the second movie, and have a TV show in between of simple stuff like Superman, saving the cat out of the tree, discovering, some foil to somebody's plan, like a scientist trying to discover his identity, whatever it is, stuff like that. And with Batman, you could just do a ton of stuff, and then make a second movie where it's just a bonus for those who, and they can make reference to the show, like back when I faced Clayface, like he used this certain toxin to keep him solid, and maybe we were able to use that. I'll look into it. Little things like that. Whatever the plot is, like you implement some other story in between and characters like that could be part of the story. Like one of the fumbles of the Superman movie was not, if you're gonna do brain control, right, it should have been flawed and should have come from the Mad Hatter. And you don't even have to look deep. Like, just go to the animated Batman animated series. Use that where like it's just a regular scientist who used to work for Wayne Industries. Then you could have a call to Batman, a call to establish that this world is very well known. Oh, this man used to work for Wayne Industries. He has this technology that I really need, and see the whole card thing, and have the actual hat. And it might even be wacky where Lex is wearing a top hat, but he's able to control Ultraman, that bullcrap Ultraman that we saw. But yeah, like there was a lot of fumbles in that movie that we could have had more. What is it? Ultra? Yeah, that we could have had more world building with villains, and then there could have been like the whole metahuman stuff, and what does it mean to actually be metahuman? What is a metahuman? But yeah, unfortunately we got pooed on. But yeah. Anyways, something that's coming up tomorrow morning, I will be releasing a video that like I did some editing. Try to get the words out. I've always been a guy who like I'm good with I do well when I'm talking with somebody, off someone. Like that's what makes it easier for me, instead of just kind of putting up a camera and talking. And I'll probably do, as I gain more, and I'm pretty honest, so as I gain more skill and experience, I might redo the video in like a year or two from now. But tomorrow I will be releasing the video of how I was able to buy a Lego store, and and I'll just talk, and I'm just gonna be talking like little bits here and there. So stay tuned for Saturday, and Saturday morning Eastern time. So on the West Coast, like, don't even worry about it. It'll be up by the time you guys wake up. Actually, no, you guys have to wait a little bit more. Actually, no, by the time you guys wake up, over here it's later. West Coast is earlier. But yeah, so I'll be releasing that. And I might play some Fallout tonight. We'll see. There's a lot of stuff I got to do there to kind of figure out how it all works. It's actually been a very tough game for me, but I enjoy it. I love it. It's fine. But yeah, like, and we'll be discussing more. I'll probably make more videos about Lego. Like I said yesterday, there will be a what's it called? A video or an interview, me and there's a few other YouTubers or some YouTubers interviewing me about the Lego store. There's one YouTuber I actually reached out to. So there was a few that knew that I had a store and reached out to me because they saw that I didn't have it anymore because they wanted to stop by, and then they wanted to know if I would be able to wanted to come on their channel and talk about it, and I turned them down and said maybe not now. I'm like, I don't know you guys that well, or I would like to do things in person. And they understood my reasons, and I was very upfront with them. I was like, there's a few YouTubers that I want to give the opportunity first if they would like it. So one of them actually reached out to M&R Productions because he actually went to my store a few times. He does mainly Lego Star Wars. And say what you want about him, I think on camera he's very genuine to his craft, and he's a lot more objective when it comes to criticism of Lego. He's very honest, which I like, and like I said, there's always been a problem with the Lego YouTubers where they're too nice. It's I don't know why. Like, Lego isn't nice. I love Lego, but they're not nice, man. They do not like playing with others. It's all about building and rebuild, but they don't like rebuilding anything. They don't like building things, relationships with you. They don't give a damn. But yeah, I reached out to him and I let him know, if you don't want to do it, fine, just let me know. But I'm gonna give you first dibs. And then, and it might take a while. Like, I would like to do it before Christmas time. I'll drive over to wherever they want to meet, right? But it's only if they want to do it. And yeah. So if anything, I'll eventually get on some sort of, I would say, something related to the store and have a conversation about it, because I think it is important for people to understand how difficult it can be, and to run a Lego business, but the kind of challenges you'll have to face, and scumbags, and you think Lego, it's a toy, how bad can it be? Dude, people are freaking terrible. I said it yesterday, people wanted to fight us in front of kids, man. It was insane. Yeah, it was. Good Lord. Now that I don't have the store, I could call people trashy. There was this one review of this, and they were a white trash couple. It was, I forgot what holiday it was that we were open, and it was just window shoppers. But the title of their review was do not touch, and they said that I think it was Memorial Day or something. I think it was a September time, and not Memorial Day, or Labor Day or something like that, or Veterans Day, so one of those Monday holidays. I worked by myself, and they're I don't know who was behind the counter, but he was a douche, and he barked at me, my wife, and children, and I was actually really nice. I just called out because the kid was gonna jump onto the bulk table. I'm like, oh, don't do that. You're gonna hurt yourself and possibly hurt somebody else. Their parents were just letting the kid roam around, run around and knock things over. And I was just okay, I was nice the whole time until I saw that there was a danger. Hey, careful, sorry. You can play with Lego, just don't lift the blocks, don't jump on the table. Simple stuff. And then he was they were pissed on their way out. I'm all right, you guys have a good day. Because he tried to say something to me, and I was just I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, they left, and then they left that review, and I was all right. And that one, it was just baffling to me, where people don't like to talk and really see hey, man, I'll tell you one experience I had actually in a restaurant. I made a joke. It was a simple joke. I was serving food to this couple, and like I said, steak, I was a meat server, right? So the meat is on a skewer. We bring it to the table, and then if it's a big piece of meat, we cut it down. If it's something like a chicken thigh or chicken breast, it's usually rolled up or designed in a way where you can just slide it down the skewer. And I was one of the first people to their table. And customer service, you either want to make jokes, you want to make them smile, have a good time. This dude took very much offense, where I'm I was a little bit more on his side, so that's where I made the mistake, because they were both sitting in front of me, and I was slightly to his side, and I slide it down, but I'm right-handed, so I have to kind of put my knife this way and slide it down. But he grabbed it with his tongs, and I'm supposed to put it on the plate, right? Because it's dangerous. Because he just rips it off. And in the middle of him pulling it, I'm like, oh, do you mind if I serve the missus first? And like he rips it off and looks at me. I'm like, oh no, don't worry, man, I got it. I understand you hungry, and like I made something like that kind of remark. Okay, I go back to go get another skewer, and then they are at the salad bar, and he comes and talks to me, and he's like, you disrespected me in front of my lady, this is unacceptable. We're on our anniversary. I know how to be a gentleman. I know how to treat my woman. And I was like, hey, I am so sorry. Like, you're right. I was I'm from Brazil. We make a lot of jokes. We really try to lighten the mood, and I was just I didn't mean to insinuate that you're not a gentleman. It was a little over the top, but he was actually courteous, and he like kind of brought it back down, and he wasn't prideful, and then he kind of realized like how I was and my intentions, and actually understood that, okay, my intentions weren't to offend, even though he felt that I offended him, right? Because in my world, like, those jokes would be fine. Like, people will laugh, and people have laughed with it. I've used that joke many a times, but with this particular man, maybe he was, I don't know, maybe something was going on, and I'm not gonna judge. He was a kind man, and I even like, hey, where's your wife at? Like, hey, I'm so sorry if it came off that way. You have a great husband who's here defending your honor, talking to me, and like, I'm from Brazil, and maybe my English is coming off a little weird, but let me make sure you guys have a good time. Why don't you guys sit down? I'm so sorry. Is there something specific that meat that you guys like? But I'm gonna make sure you guys have a great time. Happy anniversary. And dude, we had a blast. I made sure they got all the best food. I checked on them, and I'm not the manager. But I went to their table when they were done eating dessert, and I just had a conversation with them about, like, how did you guys like your experience and everything. I gotta move this camera a little bit close. And it was cool. Like, they were super nice about it. And I was like, all right, like, if that's it, that's it. Like, he even invited me to his church, and they laughed, and they said this was one of the best experiences they ever had, and it was a great anniversary. And they were definitely coming back to that restaurant again. And I'm like, all right, awesome. Because sometimes, like, I get it. Sometimes people have a bad day, bad time, and, they maybe blow something out of proportion. Or you just don't know what's going on with them, and they're a little sensitive that day, or maybe you actually did something wrong. But if you both are humble and just, it was like it was almost as if we both apologized to each other without apologizing. And it was really good. And then this one guy that wrote the review on the Lego store, he was just a freaking a-hole. Like, he didn't do his due diligence. Like, hey man, like, I really didn't like the way you yelled at my kid. I'm like, oh, it's loud in here because we play music and there was a ton of people in there. It's loud in here. I didn't mean to yell like in an aggressive manner. I just wanted to make sure she didn't get hurt, because I've seen kids get hurt, and we eventually even got better tables later on. And it's also because it's dirty, and actually, like, Legos get sharp if you jump on a pile of Legos. It's not like the freaking Donald Duck movie where you jump through a mountain of coins and you could swim through it. They're solids. You're gonna die. So no, I think we had the good tables, but it was just like, I think she was taking off the bricks and all the Legos are gonna fall on her, and she was climbing on there as well, so she could have hurt another kid and herself. And it was just something simple. And sometimes people are just looking for an outlet. Like, you just happen to be the target because you gave them some opening, whether it's deserved or not. Like, people act that way. But yeah, like I like to see the good in people. That's actually something that pissed me off on the Supergirl trailer, where like, Clark likes to see the good in people. I see the truth, and I'm like, that's stupid. That's dumb. it's kind of obvious where that movie's gonna go, like the direction, and it's not gonna be good. But yeah, like I don't want to be negative. Like we'll probably hop on and play some games and chill for a bit, but we'll see. I just want to come on here for like a few hours or an hour and just kind of hang out with you guys. Talk, get some things off my chest. It's been a long day. It was kind of a rough day, so yeah, like thanks for indulging me. Talk to you guys either later or tomorrow.